beautiful people. This is a bittersweet video to be making right now. But from the title of this video and the thumbnail, you can tell that I am no longer in London. I am back in New York City. I've been back home for, I don't know, a few days now. Just kind of like unwinding and getting back into normal life. Life back in the city, in New York City. So there's that. But before we get into this video, I want to show you guys my special bear. This is Landon, the London bear. That's what I've named him. Don't hate, don't judge. We're going to put his hood on because it's rainy in New York City today. We're going through a little hurricane passing by, but we move. But yeah, I got him from this gift shop near the London Eye, and I thought he was just so cute when I saw him. Like, I was like, oh my god. I wanted to get a Build-A-Bear, but I saw him and I was like, screw Build-A-Bear, we're going with this bear. So here's Landon. He's going to be in today's video, just chilling. If he doesn't fall, I think he's going to fall. Can y'all see him? Yeah, there we go. Stay. But like I said, this video is very bittersweet, but I'm going to be talking about why I decided to leave London sooner rather than later. Also, all of the highlights that I've had while in London. Everything is just like flashing back through my mind right now. Like every single memory is crazy. Whew. Okay, let's get into this video. So I have to start off by giving myself a round of applause. Honestly, I applaud myself a million times over because this was the bravest thing I've ever done in my life. This is the biggest achievement I've ever done in my life. So I've never left my family for longer than 2 weeks, and that was a few years back when I was in Italy. Two weeks was the first time I left the country, and that was really hard for me. Like really, really hard for me. So to go from not being more than 2 weeks away from home to being a little bit over 2 months away from home is absolutely insane. Not only was I away from home for 2 months, but I was in a foreign country. In a country I've never ever been to before, only have dreamed of going to. So also a country where I didn't know people. So honestly, like that was a big risk. But I'm a risk taker. I'm a spontaneous, adventurous risk taker. That's me. That's who I am. Hello, how are you? That's me. Anyways, so yeah, it was just a really like exciting experience for me. But that's why I applaud myself, because I said I was gonna do it, and I've mapped out a whole plan of how I was gonna get it done, and then I did it, and I went in the midst of a pandemic, which some people might think I'm crazy for doing it during this time, but in a way it was good timing to do it for me, because who knows when I would have had another opportunity where I didn't have a whole bunch of responsibilities that would not allow me to be able to do that. So I did it. So round of applause to me. Honestly, there are so many highlights of my trip. Like, I don't think I'd be able to just pick one moment that stood out from the rest. One that's really up there. Oh my god. There's actually two of them. Oh my gosh, this is so hard. But ow, I just ripped my whole earring out. But one of them that's up there was my trip to Oxford. That wasn't in London, that was outside of London, but that was a really great day, like from start to finish. It was an adventure. If you haven't seen the vlog, make sure to watch it. It's great. I'll link it up for you guys. That's a highlight, definitely. Another highlight, there's so many highlights. Definitely going to the Globe Theatre is a highlight. Me being a theater person, I've always said, oh my god, when I go to London, I'm going to Globe Theatre, I'm going to see Shakespeare play, blah, 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 blah. And then I got to see my favorite Shakespeare play, Romeo and Juliet, which, oh my god, at the Globe Theatre, like, mind blown. But there's just been, oh my god, I don't know, there's just so many great moments. It's hard to pick, like, even like a top 3. That's hard. It's really hard. But there's been so many highlights of the trip during my time there. So many great moments. Yeah, I can't pick one. I really can't. But every week was filled with adventure. Every week was filled with seeing something new, experiencing something new, creating new memories. And no, I didn't vlog every single place I went, because sometimes I just left out and just wanted to really like immerse myself into it and really be there and not have to worry about creating YouTube content. And this is my, I don't know what this is, like filming. I don't know why I did this and not like film everything, but just to like really experience it and take it all in and just capture the memory and keep it up here. And definitely every moment there's a memory for me now, like that oh my god, that I'm gonna cherish and remember forever and always. Like I'm gonna be 80 years old and still remember the time when I was 25 and decided to just pack up my suitcases and go across the world to another continent, like on my own. Like that is insane. Like wow, I did that. So land's gonna fall. But so I guess the question now comes to, well, Naisha, you was having such a great time in London. Why did you come home sooner rather than later? So I had a visa that was for 6 months, which means I could have stayed till December. However, I didn't know if I was going to stay the whole time. That was never officially decided. I just knew I had X amount of time. So yeah. Also, I said this in a previous video, I didn't need a visa, I just got a visa. Americans don't need a visa. You can go up to 6 months, I think. 6 months, yeah. And stay there without a visa. I got a visa because I wanted to rent, and I thought that would just make it way easier for me to rent. So anyways, I didn't have it clear cut in my mind how many months I was going to stay there. I said, hey, if things are going to continue to go good, I will stay for maybe the whole time. If not, I'll cut it short. But then I knew, I was telling my mom, I said, as long as I stay for the summer and like have my summer there, like I would be like really, really happy and really, really proud of myself. So you kind of get to a point where you know a chapter is done, time to turn the page and move on to the next. And that's where I was at. Being in London was great. London's a great city. Don't get me wrong. It's a great city. But when you don't know many people there, when you're not going to school, when you're not working, you get to a point where you're just like, okay, now what? So you go on all these adventures, you have all these places. I had a list of places I wanted to go to, and I'm like going to these places and I'm ticking them off my list, like that. But then when you don't have plans, you really don't have plans, or you really don't have anything to do. I can't like call someone up like, let's do this. So I don't have anyone to do that. I can't busy myself with like schoolwork because I'm not in school. I can't, or it's not like, okay, well, like I have work X amount of days out of the week, so at least I'll just be busy working. So you don't have any of that. So when you don't have anything to do, you just really don't have anything to do. So, I mean, I did have someone like that I could make plans with. However, the person was just like busy a lot of the time. So it's just like also has a whole other life, works, does other things. So it's I can't just like expect someone to just drop everything for me, like, you know what I mean? So it goes back to what I said. So it was just me, like, honestly. So I hope that makes sense in a way, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's where I was at. So it got to a point where I wasn't really doing much anymore because I did a lot of what I wanted to do. I really would have loved to travel outside of the UK, but with COVID, it made it harder, and I knew that would be a risk. The reason it was harder was because for a lot of places that I wanted to go to, if you were coming in from the UK, you would have to self-isolate. And I was like, so now I'm paying for a flight, but not only am I paying for the flight, I'm paying for a hotel or Airbnb or whatever to self-isolate in. So let's say self-isolation was 5 days. I'm paying now 5 extra days worth of money, which is hundreds of dollars, just to self-isolate. And then I have to take a PCR test on top of that, which is also money, to then be able to go out and do things. But let's say my trip was like only for like 4 days. Now I'm paying also another 4 days worth of money to, like, you know what I mean? It's just, it was just gonna be a lot of money having to be spent. And it's not that I couldn't afford to do it, it's just in my head did not make sense. Like, obviously it makes sense to have to like self-isolate and whatever, I get that, I'm not knocking that, but it just didn't make sense to then do that trip at that time. It made more sense to just wait until things are better, things die down, and then go. However, funny enough, if you were going to the said countries from America, you would not have to self-isolate, and that I thought was hilarious. I thought that was so funny. Coming from the UK, you would have to self-isolate, but coming from America, you would not, if you're vaccinated. I was just like, well, actually, I think even for some places, even if you weren't vaccinated, you didn't have to self-isolate. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. But the point is, like, what? Have you seen what's going on in America? But, yeah, it is what it is. So that played a big part in the reason that I left. Another reason I left was, like, mentally, I became very mentally drained, mentally exhausted. There was just a lot going on mentally. I'm not going to get into more specifics than that, but there was a lot going on mentally. And so I was like, you know what? It's just best for me to be surrounded by, go back home and be surrounded by my family, and be surrounded by love, and be surrounded by comfort. I thought that would just be better for me, to help me feel better before I felt way worse than I was feeling. So that was another reason. Of course I was homesick. Of course I missed my mom. Of course I missed my sister. Of course I missed my brother. Of course I missed my nieces. Of course I missed my grandparents. Like, I couldn't talk to my grandparents because my grandparents, so they don't have an iPhone, they have an Android, but then my grandma doesn't have an email account, so she couldn't so she can't download anything from like the Google Play Store, so she couldn't download WhatsApp, so me and her couldn't even talk on the phone, we couldn't video chat, nothing. And I like talk to my grandma like every few days, so to go from every few days to not hearing from her for so long, it's like, I didn't like it. So all of these factors played into why I left London sooner rather than later. But like I said, I'm not upset about my choice because I did what was right for me. It was right for me to leave. I felt like it was just that time. And I'm also very, very proud of myself for accomplishing even staying in London for that long. So once again, I applaud myself. Give myself a little dance, because you know it wouldn't be an Asian video without the dancing. Oh. Like I said, it is very bittersweet to have left London. Had a really great time there, but I will miss it. People there will miss. I had a great roommate. Shout out to my roommate because she was great. Really cool, spunky gal. She's like, we'll definitely stay friends. Definitely. The closest person I had there, closest person I had in London, Harry, shout out to him. All the adventures, all the great times. It's great. Yeah. Good times. Shout out to my friend Gavin, who from the very beginning was even helping, before I even got to America, was helping me, giving me advice and stuff on renting and all that. Picked me up from the airport when I got there. It's great. Actually, the very last thing I did in London was go see Gavin's girlfriend perform at the Hard Rock Cafe, and it was great. And that was a few nights before I left, but I don't remember how many nights before I left. But anyways, yeah, so shout out to those 3 people. Hold a special place in my heart, honestly. I don't want to get emotional, so moving on. But yeah, definitely bittersweet. But I'm back in New York, back with my family, and also just back with this newfound way of thinking of like, I can do anything. If I was able to do that, I can do anything. And so one of my biggest passion in life, probably the only thing I'm really passionate about right now, is acting, and have been passionate about for years, is acting. And now I'm at a place where I can dedicate 100% of my time and focus to acting. And so that's what I've been doing since I got back, and that's the plan to continue doing. And now it's the perfect time because, you know, things are opening back up, theaters open again, so like auditions are happening, stuff like that. So it's really, really great. It's a great time to be getting back into that field. It's a great time to be vaccinated, because now you got to be vaccinated to do all that stuff anyways. And actually the other day I self-taped a submission, an audition. I can't even speak. I self-taped an audition for something and submitted it, and I actually got word yesterday that I was invited for a callback, which I'll be doing tomorrow, so that's great. So yeah, things are just moving along. Excited to get back into background work, because background work is always fun to me. Some people look down on it, but I think it's fun. First of all, I get paid to just be on set, to just like chill and meet people. Honestly, I use it for networking, and it's just. So with all that being said, I will definitely be back in London again. This isn't a one and done type of trip for me. I would definitely be back in London. Can't say when, but London will definitely be in my future. And Landon, the London Bear, will be coming along with me. He traveled home with me. Like literally, I was on the airplane like this with him, cuddling him. I'm like, he's so cute. But yeah, this is not the end of my London adventures. I'll definitely be back in London. London is such a cool city, like it really is. The weather was it was sad. Let's talk about that real quick. The weather was I knew it gets cloudy and rainy. That wasn't a problem for me. The problem was the cold. It was just cold. There was no summer. Okay, I wanted to spend a summer in London. That was not a summer. I was cold. I was in a jacket for a majority of the time that I was in London, a jacket and a sweater. So, not happy about that. But it is what it is. Would it be London if it wasn't cold? Would it be London if there wasn't bipolar weather? Like, they say that, so before I went to London, I read somewhere that London is the only place where you experience all 4 seasons in one day. And I was like, you guys are so dramatic. And then I got to London, and let me tell you, they're not lying. So just a fun fact for anyone going to London. It's true. So be ready for it. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I said it wasn't gonna be a long video, and look, it's long. But anyways, make sure to subscribe if you're not already. We're back in New York, so we're back to New York City adventures. I do want to do some traveling around the States. COVID's crazy here, but like going to the places where it's not bad. Good luck to me for finding a place like that. But anyways, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.